Well, somatic experiencing is a body-based form of the treatment of trauma, but it's used for a lot of other things now. It was developed by Peter Levine, who's a psychoneurobiologist, and he got curious about why is it that animals in the wild who, encounter things that you and I would consider trauma all the time, why don't they seem to get PTSD like human beings get PTSD? And so he investigated that question, and he worked with ethologists, who are people that study animal behavior, especially animals in the wild. And he discovered that whenever a predator animal is chasing a prey animal, that prey animal, when it gets caught, in the lion's mouth, or when it gets away, either way, when that flight or that fight is over, that prey animal will always do this series of twitching movements after the fight or the flight is done. And he got curious about that, and what he theorized was that what that animal is doing is it's discharging the excess energy that's no longer needed for that fight or flight. And so he developed a kind of a clinical theory from that about how to do that with human beings, because so often human beings, we override those kind of natural instinctual cues to have us essentially shake it off. We culturally, we keep a stiff upper lip, or boys don't cry, or whatever, and so we override those natural impulses. So the therapy is about helping the body slow down and listen to those natural impulses that will help the body complete what is incomplete, because that completion is really important. Because again, back to that theory, Peter thought that in the discharge of all of that energy, what the animal was doing is essentially resetting its system, almost like rebooting a computer, so that it's ready for the next time that fight or flight energy is needed. So that's basically where the idea came from, and it is a somatic therapy. In other words, it is body-oriented. So soma is the word that means body, and so the idea is about helping to complete incomplete self-protective responses, and the therapy is also focused on helping to regulate the nervous system, because in trauma, often the nervous system becomes dysregulated. It becomes kind of stuck. I know it's not a clinical word, but in that sympathetic fight or flight arousal. So like an anxious person might be feeling that flight, and that agitation inside, or a fight energy that hasn't gotten to complete yet. So a lot of the therapy, again, is about looking at the nervous system and helping it to do what it hasn't gotten a chance to finish.